Welcome to this episode of the Soundtracks YouTube channel. Yeah, today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the Rock Room. All right, so this was an idea we had when we opened in Morristown. We moved to Morristown, we opened in Morristown. We put together a country room, and we thought it was kind of a cool idea. We painted it not quite Tennessee orange, but more of a fall orange, and we put our country in there. And it was a good idea. It was a good idea. But then we started noticing that we were selling a whole lot more rock and metal and even punk than we were country. And we also started noticing that people that buy that kind of stuff, they don't really like looking through all the others to find what they're looking for. Then we went to Record Store Day convention in New Orleans over the summer, and one of the speakers there was about merchandising, and he talked about putting together your store. And he absolutely mentioned the fact that most rock and metal guys do not want to have to climb over a bunch of non-interesting albums to them anyway in search of their favorite rock and metal. It doesn't mean they won't. It just means that when they're coming in looking for a certain rock and metal record, that they're not really wanting to jump through all the bins. They do that on other days when they're looking for other stuff, right? So it was just kind of weird because it's like, okay, we've seen a little bit of that. Not a lot, but a little bit of that. And now he's sitting here talking about it. And his suggestion was that we separate our rock and metal, okay? And then they even showed statistics where rock and metal is like, I think it was 70% of record sales. And when you take Taylor Swift out of the equation, like 70% of the sales, followed by hip hop, followed by pop, followed then by blues, jazz. Actually, I think it was rock. Okay, I'm gonna do this from memory, but I think it was rock, hip hop, pop, country, blues, jazz, Christian rock, other. Okay, I think that's how that went. So I got the statistics, so I'll see if I can find it. So anyway, we started thinking about this. Like, okay, we need to put our rock and roll together, our rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and then we'll do punk as well. Well, the building that we rent, obviously, if you've ever been to it, you know that it has rooms, okay? This used to be a mortgage office, so there's offices that we turn into themed rooms or category rooms, meaning that we have a room for CDs, we have a room for 45s, we have a room for our VHS and VCRs, we have a room for our audio equipment. So we thought, well, let's take down the country room and put up a rock room. And then when we do this, see, at the time we had our country CDs in with the country in the country room, but then the rest of the CDs were in another room, and that never quite made total sense to me. So we decided, all right, let's put all our CDs together in one room, country and everything else. Let's move country to general population out on the main floor, and then let's give rock its own room. And there we come up with the Rock Room. And that was just a natural name for me, as when I lived in Michigan and I had a little venue/bar. It had a basement, and we turned the basement into a live music area, and we called it the Rock Room. And we would do punk, metal, dubstep, techno. We would do salsa. We would do kind of like some of our themed shows in that room. We rented it out for events and weddings from time to time. But it was mostly known as a room. We did our rock and metal shows, and we called it the Rock Room. So I thought, well, this just makes total sense. It's just kind of carrying on with that for me. Well, also while I was in Michigan, I met a guy that was a promoter for some shows and festivals, and I actually got to work with him on a couple of festivals that we put together in Michigan. And I kind of showed him internet radio, like I introduced him to it. I don't want to take too much credit here because I don't want him to think like I'm stealing the praise here, because I'm not. But I did introduce him to the idea because I had done some internet radio, had done some shows on an internet radio station, and introduced the idea to him. And we talked about starting a channel for a long time. We just never did. And then I moved to Tennessee, and he went ahead and he started a channel, an internet radio channel. And he called me a couple times, and I helped him with some things and some tidbits and some ideas and stuff. And it was super, super cool, super cool. It was so cool that he even had the lead singer from Jackal, I can't remember his name, reach out to him and ask him how to start a station. So I got to do a three-way call with him one time on how to help Jackal put together an internet radio station. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, he ended up calling the radio station Rock Rage Radio. So I did a show on Rock Rage Radio for a while, and then he grew that into a country station as well. So he had two stations, Rock Rage and Country Rage. And I did a country show and actually programmed the country. I was program director for the country station for a while. Well, that station turned into be just huge. Like his social media presence, he shares his numbers sometimes publicly and sometimes he shares them with me, and he gets more hits than like Rolling Stone magazine, Time magazine, Sports Illustrated. I mean, it's just a huge social media presence that he has. And you may even, while you're watching this video, think, well, yeah, I've heard of Rock Rage Radio. Yeah, sure you have. Okay, they're at every music festival across the United States. They promote shows across the United States. They play indie music from independent artists. They have their own record label. So yeah, it's cool stuff, right? So I called him up. I said, hey, John, I says, I'm thinking about putting together this room, and I'm going to have all my rock and metal in there, and I think that we should tie up somehow. I said, I think I want to call it the Rock Room, and it would be cool if we could kind of co-market together, meaning that I'll promote Rock Rage Radio at the Rock Room, and you promote the Rock Room for soundtracks on Rock Rage Radio. And he loved the idea, absolutely loved the idea. So what we've done since then is we put together a little show that we do on Wednesday nights. 11 p.m. And I do the little show, and I feature an hour's worth of upcoming or recently released rock, metal, and punk music. And we talk about soundtracks and how you can get that music through the Soundtracks website. Or if you're in East Tennessee, you can stop in the store. And so, you know, it's basically an hour-long commercial, but we play a lot of cool rock music, right? Rock, punk, and metal. And, you know, so I get to do that every Wednesday. So that is on Rock Rage Radio. So check that show out sometime. Give it a listen. I would appreciate that you do. And give them a listen and give them a like and give them a follow and support the radio station that's supporting a local record store that's not even local to them. And, you know, in the conversation, his idea was like, man, we need to have a record store like in every major market. And I'm like, yeah, one step at a time, right? One step at a time. So that is the history and the story of how the Rock Room came to be. So let's take a look at the Rock Room on the video today and just show you a little bit about what's going on in the Rock Room. Let's start out with that right there. Look at that, the Rock Room. Yeah, we got that sign up in the window of the room. That is the Rock Room. See if I can zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so there you see the way in and you see the sign, right? Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then it goes into, from the sign there, it goes into presented by Rock Rage Radio. There you go. That's them right there. So give them a listen. Put a .com after that, and you've got their website. Totally. So check that out. All right, so let's go in the Rock Room and take a look. So it's pretty much finished, but it still has some growth. Does that make sense? Like there's not a whole lot more we got to do to present this room to you. We're excited to show you this room, but we've got some room to grow. So over here, we start the rock and the metal, and we start it down here with the, you know, the pound signs. So we got some 311 in there, and then we go into the A's, you know, AC/DC, Armored Saint, Aerosmith, Accept, Alice in Chains, okay? Then we get into the B's, and you see some classic metal in there. Bad Company is probably the softest band in here, or the most pop-oriented rock band in here, even though they were more of a blues-oriented. So that's why we put them in here, because they're very blues-oriented, and they're on Led Zeppelin's label. So we felt they were worthy to be in the Rock Room. Even though some of my favorite groups we did not put in here. We did not put Foreigner in here. We did not put Boston in here. We did not put the Cars in here. Not that they're not rock. It's just they're not that side of rock, right? Okay, so then you go down through there, and then it continues on over here. Rock and metal, Kiss, Metallica, Motley Crue, Pearl Jam, Poison, Slayer, Shinedown, Testament, Uriah Heep, all the way down the line. Okay? Then we're going to slide over here to this side. Try not to go too fast. I don't want to make you all dizzy. And we got the punk section. Now, this section's still growing. Yeah, I mean, they're both still growing, but this one's got a lot more room to grow as we're filling in the punk. They're super excited and very, very honored that we have an artist that actually works at the store here, and he makes those. Okay, so you can order those. You'd have to call the store. They're not on our website, but you can call the store, and we can ship those to you anywhere in the country, or you can stop in the store and pick one up if you like. But yeah, those are all handmade by a local artiste here in East Tennessee that happens to work at the store. Got me my Pop Evil signed picture frame up there. That's kind of cool, right? So then we got some posters over there. Now the sleeves are just here through the holidays, because after the holidays we're going to get actually just a sleeve display system, and that's going to change a little bit. So that'll give us some more room for some rock records there. And I'm thinking about putting like some unknown, lesser priced type stuff there, stuff from like the 60s and 70s, psych rock, stuff like that maybe you just haven't really quite heard of. Thinking about putting that there. once we clear out that. So that's, again, we have room to grow. It's one of the that's the first record that Soundtracks ever sponsored. You see that right there. And they're a rock band, absolutely. They got a little grunge flavor to them, a little 90s flavor to them, a little classic rock flavor to them. They even got some country in them. There's a lot of things going on with that band. I invite you to check them out. They're called Brothers Revolt. Check those guys out. They're a Tennessee band right there. Then over here, I got to show you this. This is the Rock Room t-shirt. This was the official t-shirt of the bar we owned in Grand Rapids. And you can see when we shut down, when we were closing down, we had a going away party. And some of the regulars and staff members signed this thing, like Fun Pants. Her name was Shannon. She was such a cool girl, such a cool girl. There's Mama Brooke. She was having a baby at the time. I remember that. And yeah, it's just some of the people that signed it. It's signed on the front as well, but we could only display one side, obviously. So we decided to display the side that says Rock Room. So if any of my 36th Street people or Rock Room people out there and you remember those shirts, give us a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. I've lost contact with a lot of you guys over the years. Again, one more time, we'll just kind of pan it out here. The rock, the punk. Then we got some decor stuff there as well. So then, you walk out of the room and you walk back into here. So that is the story of the Rock Room, how it came to be. And there's a sign strobe. Rock, metal, punk. The idea there is to get your attention when you walk in, because we've had people walk in and be like, dude, where'd your Deftones go? Or where's Alice in Chains now? Or no Ozzy? You got no Ozzy? So we got to let you guys know there's a Rock Room. So we put that up there as well. And we made that strobe so that, if I'm not around or, we're busy talking to somebody, you don't think we don't have that stuff anymore, because it's our number one seller. Like Alice in Chains is our probably number one artist that we sell here. Ozzy, since he's passed, is way up there at the top. Metallica, Slayer, we sell just a crap ton of them. AC/DC, Zeppelin. I'm just trying to think. Those guys, we just sell a lot of them. We do. We sell a lot of Weezer. We sell a lot of the Ramones. We sell a lot of Green Day. So that's what makes this store. And it's kind of neat because I love all types of music. Like, I will even listen to John Denver if you get me in the right mood. But at my heart, I've always been kind of a rock guy. So it's kind of cool. And it's kind of cool that my people, the people of the store, the people the store belongs to, you guys out there, my buyers and the listeners and the people that make this place awesome, you guys, seems like you like the rock a little bit better than anything else that we do as well. We do sell some country, we do sell some blues, we sell a little bit of jazz here and there. Soul, we sell more soul than I think that I expected we would. And but we sell a lot of rock and metal. Absolutely we do. So as I said, that is the story of the Rock Room. If you got any questions, post them below, because I'm trying to get you to comment, because I'm trying to get the algorithms up, because I'm trying to get YouTube to catch on to our page, because I'm trying to get YouTube to share it with people and suggest it with people to grow our viewership, right? So give us a like, give us a follow, share the page with people. Let your friends and your family and your neighbors and your rock friends and your country friends and all your friends know that we have this YouTube page here, and stop in every once in a while. Now, of course, we do shorter videos of this stuff on Facebook and Instagram, but this is where you kind of get the deep details, right? You get the full story. Like we just gave you the full story of the Rock Room, from the idea of coming into this place here in West Morristown to creating the room, why, the reinforcement of our idea that we received in New Orleans, and then the fact that we just call it the Rock Room because we had a rock room in the early 2000s all the way up to about 2011. So it all just tied together. So that's what it's all about. So thanks for watching today. We definitely appreciate it. Go crank up some metal now. And it's going to be funny if you came to this page by accident because you're expecting some rock and metal and you didn't get it, because we're going to put some hashtags down there and some keywords, right? But thanks for watching nonetheless. Check out our website, soundtracksrecords.com. You can buy all that stuff right there on our website. Make sure you check out Rock Rage Radio as well. Show them some love and support. Tune into my show if you like. It's Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And, yeah, just keep on rocking in the free world. We'll see you soon.